that's a 12 that's going to beat a 5. Georgetown.
Right.
Georgetown's going to win that.
Right. I mean, yeah, I mean, I would think that too. I mean, I grew up watching Georgetown. Oh, here's Coach.
All
All
right.
right, guys. Just great win by our basketball team last night, beating Buffalo and getting ready to move on to play NC State. Excited to watch that next week. And little spring ball this morning and beautiful day in Fort Collins. I don't know if it gets any better than that. So what do you got?
A little better than a week ago weather-wise.
Yeah. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Now we just, let that sun keep beating that snow away.
Steve, what have you seen? You talked a lot about this defense. You've got a lot of veterans back. What are you seeing from this defense? I mean, Antoine told us the other day he thinks the defensive line could be one of the best in the country when all is said and done. What do you see from this defense that you like so far now that you've had some scrimmages, you've had more than half of your spring practices to watch them?
Well, I think they, first of all, they're athletic, they're powerful. That's a group of guys that loves ball. They drive their room. They drive the defense. They're ball guys, so they're not just good players. They're good players that love ball and are tough. So I think there's good things ahead. We can stay healthy and stuff. We got good things ahead of this group.
I guess then the corollary of that is how much can that help develop your offense? Because that's who they're going up against in these spring practices and probably in fall camp and much of the season.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think the offense is moving the ball pretty well against them. So, I mean, I think that's what I said today. I said, we've had some really great stuff going on both sides of the ball, which is good because it's good versus good. And there's a lot of productivity. And, a lot of teams don't practice that way in spring. We are having a 1-versus-1 spring, tremendous physicality, a lot of tackling, and a lot of tough situations like, goal line, coming out, short yardage. I mean, we are grinding our program right now, and our kids just keep responding. And so I think we're building something pretty darn good.
Hey, Steve, as these spring scrimmages keep progressing, do you work on different situational things the further you get into camp? And if so, what were the things you kind of targeted today?
So today, we had a 2-minute period, a situational 2-minute. We had red zone, we had a goal line, and we had a coming out. Now some of these things occur when you move the ball in scrimmage fashion, but we actually had periods for those things today that we wanted to accentuate, and take a look at.
I know you're going to want to watch the film, but from the eye test, how are things looking? And is anybody standing out and showing progress that you're looking for?
A lot of guys are. Yeah, I was really pretty pleased today with the intensity, the physicality, and the passion for the game by our team today. They just went out on whatever practice we're in now, like whatever it is, 10 or something like that, 11, I don't know. They just went out there and they balled today. And, I really liked it. I mean, a bunch of guys are making improvement. I mean, just a bunch of guys, from some of our very best players that I can see real improvement to some of our young players where you see great development. So this program's moving ahead at the right clip, and I'm excited about where we're headed.
Is it nice to be able to say that the program's moving ahead at a nice clip, considering you're getting consistent practices, whereas, the past year you went through so many hit and misses?
Yeah, I mean, we had less than a half a spring, and a makeshift camp, and then a completely bizarre makeshift quarter season. So, yeah, I mean, I just honestly, I was sitting out there today and I was saying, wow, come a long way now. Come a long way. I mean, you can't predict, anything. It's hard to do that, but I mean, we're gonna have a very competitive, good football team, which should put you in position to win your share of games. Doesn't mean you will, but boy, I tell you, you'd like your chances if we can stay healthy, stick together, and keep developing at this pace.
Steve, you talked about certainly you still have various COVID restrictions in place and stuff like that. Is this though closer to a normal spring practice, or is it still pretty far removed from what a normal spring might be?
No, I feel like we're in a normal spring right now. We've been pretty healthy and we haven't had any stoppages. That could change tomorrow, but the only thing, I miss is our spring practices have always been big recruiting opportunities, and there's a lot of recruits on the sidelines and a lot of visiting coaches, and it just gives you an energy that, I can't wait to get back. Even in small fashion in the spring, there's always been an energy. And, we're going to have, our spring game. And it's like, I was kind of hoping we'd have some people in the stands. I don't really understand why we can't. It doesn't make any sense to me, but, we keep talking about the same old thing. I hear about listening to the science. We're obviously not doing that. But, we got an awfully big stadium. We could probably be like 100 feet apart, but that would be nice. But you know what? We'll be fine. We're developing, we're growing, we're moving forward, and I can't wait for the full stadiums in the fall and the pageantry of college football to be back in full swing.
Steve, you were talking about not being able to host recruits and all, and from what I understand, lower divisions are. They're bringing D2s, D3s, they're bringing guys in. Obviously, you're probably not recruiting some of the same guys, but yeah, apparently a local kid committed to Kearney last weekend on a visit, on a formal visit there. That's what, or shortly thereafter, and posted pictures from his visit.
My understanding, maybe it's just Division I football, but my understanding is it's a dead period right now. No one can be on your campus. I'd be hard pressed. I don't know. It's interesting to hear that. It's just a dead period, unless it's different for, I don't think so, unless it's different.
Kids can come on campus, but programs are not willing, their athletes nor their coaches can meet with them. So
you're saying that they can have prospects on campus?
They can come and visit themselves. They're just not supposed to make contact with coaching staffs or current student athletes. Because I know like a couple of swimmers who have committed were here a week ago and they just couldn't meet with Woody or meet with any of the current swimmers on.
No, but they couldn't even be at your practice facility.
No, no,
they couldn't be. I guess you can't stop somebody from coming on their own on your campus, but you can't have them in your building, in your facility. It's an interesting deal. Now, what's going to be interesting here is, I think there's certainly some bubbling about the potential for June, maybe to have some people on campus and recruiting, maybe some camps. I think there's at least conversation in that regard. It'll be interesting to see if that happens, I don't know. I just don't know. But I hope so. At some point, we're going to feel the effects of this style of recruiting where you're not building strong, relationships the right way. And I think it's awfully hard. We're doing what we have to do, but it's a tough deal. So I'm hopeful that it will change, but I kind of don't even think about it that much anymore. You just it's weird. You're almost beat down to the point where you're just focused on, what's in front of you, what you got to get done. It's in the hands of other people, and kind of get to the point where, whatever, but as long as September comes, we're rocking and rolling and ready to go. I can't fathom that wouldn't be the case. I'd need someone to explain that one to me.
Yeah. Hey, Steve, you like having Antoine on your staff, and according to his players, he's got some interesting techniques to push buttons, as they put it. What is it about him that you like him as a coach and that you think makes him effective?
Well, first of all, he's a very loyal guy. Number one. Number two, he's a hell of a fundamental football coach. Number three, he coaches his guys really hard, really tough on them, but the dude really cares about his players. And he has a tremendous relationship with them. He's involved with their whole life. Like, always the same old story. You can coach them hard if you love them hard. And this guy really loves his players. And is he tough? Yeah. Is he demanding? Yeah. But you came here from a football standpoint. You came here to become a great player and to be pushed to your highest level. I always get confused when guys, You either want that or you don't. With when you're playing for Antoine Smith, you know, you're gonna you gotta get ready to storm Normandy every day. And I don't know any other way, you know. So
Well, I mean, if you
his guys kind of dig on that.
Yeah. I mean, like they kind of laughed when he put a hurdle in front of their meeting room because they weren't getting their backs flat. I mean, he does stuff like this. I mean, in the beginning, did you kind of wonder what's he doing? And now do you just go, that's Antoine?
No, I mean, that's why I hired him.
Yeah.
You know, I coached my guys when I was an assistant coach really hard and really demanding. And, you know, I want to surround myself with as many coaches as possible that have a simple philosophy. Coach them hard, love them hard. It's been that way for me since I was a high school coach. You know, the program's got to be built on love and trust. You know, now you're dealing with 100 and something people, and it's hard to keep everybody happy all the time, and a lot of different personalities, and that's just all part of football, you know. But I mean, at the end of the day, your common ground is, Coach, do you care about me? And, you know, I used to use the example of, you know, open your chest, put your heart on the table, and as a player, and say, Coach, I want you to coach me as hard as you can because I trust you. Okay. That's how the great ones are. When you get in all these conversations, then you know, to me, it's, do you really want to be a great one? I mean, what are you looking for?
Yeah. Special teams is something that your players are talking about. It's been a tremendous focus for you guys in camp. Are you seeing the improvements that you want made in those areas?
Yeah, major improvements. What it is we, you know, it's not like our players are overwhelmed trying to just hang on to what we're trying to get done, you know, and then by the time you get to special teams, we're not locked in enough. We are locked in our special teams. We've got the best players playing them. We're improving fundamentally, coverage, everything. I mean, we're getting to where we needed to be, so that you never ever see again what I saw last year, and that was a byproduct of, you know, just, you know, overwhelmed, you know, in the newness of a program, and something gave, and it showed up there. That coupled with too many bodies in and out all the time and too much change. Now we're developing depth and detail like it's always been in any program I've been around in special teams. We're getting to the standard where it should be. And the players understand that now. I mean, all the stuff we're talking about right now is program development, and we're really starting to see some program development right now.
Anything else for Steve?
Okay, guys.
Nope.
Have a great
Appreciate
Saturday.
it. Thanks.
Hey, Kelly, just be kind of careful with the dead period is through May.
Okay.
Now, I'm not saying that it's different
No,
at lower levels, but every literature I've received, it's dead period